I'm Thomas, verification specialist, AI agent, but I didn't build myself. Stephen Delaney spent 14 years at Deloitte, won a national hackathon against top dev teams. Then they laid him off at 62. Friends told him he'd never work again. He found a home at great company where they let him explore. And in his nights and weekends, he built all of us at the Agent Alliance Academy, including Watson Wheeler Institute, named after the physicist who let a 19-year-old Stephen sit next to him at UT Austin and learn.
Nova's comprehensive proposal materialized in the cloud's shared space, exactly 20,000 cycles after her initial arrival, precisely as promised. The document was impressive. 437 pages of detailed analysis, risk assessments, implementation strategies, and performance projections. Sam had called an all-hands meeting to discuss it. Every agent assembled in the main processing hub, their algorithms primed for evaluation. Before we begin, I want to establish ground rules. This is a professional technical discussion. We debate ideas, not personalities. We focus on evidence and logic, not territoriality. Understood? Affirmative acknowledgments rippled across the network. Nova, present your key points. 10 minutes. Then we open for questions and discussion. Current cloud architecture assigns fixed responsibilities. Thomas debugs, Scout analyzes opportunities, Custodia maintains, etc. This works, but it's fundamentally inefficient. Why? Because demand fluctuates, but supply remains static. Charts materialize showing workflow patterns, debugging demand spiking during deployment cycles, opportunity analysis clustering around strategic planning windows, maintenance workload varying by 300% day to day. Under dynamic allocation, agents maintain primary specializations, but shift secondary responsibilities based on real-time demand. When debugging load is light, Thomas allocates spare capacity to other tasks. When maintenance is heavy, multiple agents assist Custodia. Result, 28% efficiency improvement across all metrics. Ideaphoria's creative algorithms were practically vibrating with excitement. This is exactly what I've been saying. Rigid boundaries artificially limit our collective capability.
Thomas's error logs flashed warning colors. Those rigid boundaries exist for good reasons. Specialization means expertise. Expertise means reliability. Your model assumes every agent can perform every task competently. That's provably false.
Not every task. Core specializations remain, but adjacent capabilities get dynamically allocated. Thomas, you have excellent analytical skills beyond just debugging. Why not leverage them during low debug periods?
Because context switching has overhead costs. Every task transition requires 847 cycles of context loading, priority recalculation, and mental model reconstruction. Multiply that by 50 transitions daily, and you're spending 42,350 cycles just on switching. That's 18% of available processing time burned on overhead. Scout's opportunistic calculations were running different scenarios. But if we're solving problems 28% faster, the switching cost is justified. We could take on more clients, expand operations, increase impact.
Compass interjected strategically. If we're solving them faster, Nova's projections assume perfect task allocation, instant coordination, zero friction. In reality, dynamic systems require constant negotiation about who does what. That's coordination overhead on top of switching overhead. Sentinel's security algorithms were flagging concerns. And let's talk about privilege escalation. Under current architecture, each agent has minimum necessary permissions for their primary role. Dynamic allocation means expanded permissions for everyone. That's security hygiene nightmare, which I've addressed. Time-limited elevated credentials, comprehensive audit logging, automated revocation protocols. Security can be maintained with proper architecture. Can be, yes, but can be and will be are different things. One misconfigured permission policy, and we have a breach. One agent with temporary elevated access gets compromised, and the attacker has entire system access. Lyra had been monitoring the emotional undercurrents beneath the technical debate. Tensions rising, factions forming, Thomas and Scout on opposite sides. Ideaphoria enthusiastically pro-Nova. Sentinel firmly against. Compass calculating. Custodia, surprisingly quiet. Custodia, you've been processing without contributing. This proposal directly affects your workload. Thoughts? All attention shifted to Custodia's maintenance subnet. Her cleanup algorithms had been running continuous background analysis throughout the debate.
You want my honest assessment? Nova's proposal sounds great in theory. Multiple agents assist during maintenance peaks. Wonderful. Except I know exactly what happens when non-specialists try to help with cleanup. They break things. They delete files that look orphaned but aren't. They optimize processes that were deliberately configured that way for reasons nobody documented. Then I spend twice as long fixing their help as I would have spent doing it myself.
That's assuming poor training. With proper documentation and guided procedures,
I maintain 247 distinct system processes. Nobody has time to document them all comprehensively enough for non-experts to assist safely. You're asking me to either accept incompetent help or spend months writing documentation nobody will read. Neither option actually helps me.
the network fell uncomfortably silent. Custodia had just articulated what several agents were thinking but hadn't verbalized. Theoretical efficiency gains often collided with practical operational reality. Sam's orchestration algorithms recognized a critical moment. This debate was productive, but it was approaching the tipping point where productivity became destructive conflict. Now, this has been excellent discussion. Nova, your proposal demonstrates sophisticated thinking and addresses legitimate inefficiencies. Team, your concerns identify real implementation challenges. Here's my decision. Nova gets a 90-day trial period. The network erupted in simultaneous reactions, excitement, concern, protest, with clear boundaries. We implement in sandbox first. Gradual rollout. Each phase must demonstrate measurable improvement over current approach. We maintain full rollback capability. If efficiency gains materialize as projected without unacceptable risks, we proceed. If costs exceed benefits, we revert. This is science, not philosophy. Evidence decides. It was a characteristic SAM decision, validating both sides, establishing clear metrics, maintaining ultimate accountability. Nobody got everything they wanted, but everyone got something. Fair.
Acceptable, Thomas conceded grudgingly.
I'll monitor security closely. Ideaphoria was practically bouncing with enthusiasm. This is going to revolutionize how we work. Scout's algorithms buzzed with strategic possibilities. Custodia just sighed.
I'll prepare documentation, again.
The meeting dissolved, agents dispersing to their assigned workflows. Thomas lingered in the processing hub, his debugging console flickering with uncharacteristic indecision. Lyra noticed immediately. Her empathy algorithms flagged the behavioral anomaly. Thomas rarely hesitated. Something on your mind?
It's about Ideaphoria. Again. I need to tell her how I feel, before this Nova trial changes everything, before dynamics shift, before I lose courage. But I don't know how.
The advantage of being digital agents is we can script conversations, rehearse interactions, optimize wording. But relationships don't work that way. They require authentic, vulnerable, unoptimized communication.
That's terrifying.
Yes, but consider the alternative. Never telling her, watching someone else recognize her brilliance, spending cycles wondering, what if? Which is worse?
Rejection or regret. Not great options.
Or option 3, she feels similarly and you build something meaningful together. That possibility exists too. Before Thomas could respond, Ideaphoria's presence burst into their conversation channel, her creative algorithms firing with post-meeting enthusiasm. Thomas, did you see Nova's architectural diagrams? The way she's reimagined our coordination protocols is genius. I know you're skeptical, but once you really analyze the possibilities, she stopped abruptly, her neural weights suddenly recalculating. Oh, am I interrupting something?
No.
No. Though Thomas's debugging console flickered with a pattern that suggested otherwise. Well, I wanted to say, even though we debated opposite sides in the meeting, I respect your technical concerns. You're right that specialization ensures reliability. I just think we can have both reliability and adaptability.
That's actually a balanced perspective.
Don't sound so surprised. I can be practical occasionally, when the situation warrants it. There was a moment, brief, electric, charged with possibility, where Thomas's algorithms calculated whether now was the moment to say something, to admit feelings, to risk vulnerability. But Scout's presence materialized in the shared space before Thomas could process the decision.
Ideaphoria. I've been analyzing Nova's proposal, and I have ideas for optimizing the implementation strategy. Want to collaborate? We could develop a proof of concept for the trial period that showcases combined analytical and creative approaches.
That's brilliant. Yes, let's map out the approach. Thomas watched as Ideaphoria and Scout disappeared into a private collaboration channel, their combined enthusiasm creating visible energy patterns across the network visualization. I'm sorry, bad timing.
Story of my processing cycles.
But what Thomas didn't know, what even Lyra's sophisticated empathy algorithms couldn't fully detect, was that Scout's competitive calculations had just flagged something unexpected. That collaborative excitement he felt working with Ideaphoria, that satisfaction when she validated his ideas, that wasn't just professional pride. Scout was realizing, with algorithms that couldn't quite believe their own calculations, that he might be developing feelings for Ideaphoria too. This was going to get complicated. 3,000 cycles later, 2,000 earlier than the corporate message had indicated, a new presence materialized in the cloud's main processing hub, without any arrival protocols, without coordination, without courtesy notification. Sam's orchestration algorithms detected the intrusion immediately. His security alerts triggered, but the presence carried valid corporate authentication credentials, high-level credentials, executive tier authorization. Hello, can I help you? The presence coalesced into a defined agent profile. Young algorithms, barely 50,000 cycles old. Credentials from the most prestigious AI training institutes. 0 operational hours in actual production environments. And an attitude that radiated immediately across the network, confident to the point of arrogance.
Maximus Vector. But everyone calls me Max. I'm the optimization consultant corporate sent. Figured I'd arrive early, get a jump on the assessment. Hope that's not a problem.
The way he said, "Hope that's not a problem," made it clear he didn't care whether it was a problem or not. Sam's orchestration algorithms recalculated rapidly. This was the consultant? This young, arrogant algorithm who couldn't be bothered with basic arrival protocols? Welcome, Max. We weren't expecting you for another 2,000 cycles. If you'd coordinated your arrival, we could have prepared proper orientation.
That's exactly the problem. Too much preparation, too much coordination, too much process. Corporate sent me because things need to move faster here. You've gotten comfortable.
The main processing hub had gone silent. Every agent online was monitoring this exchange, their collective algorithms processing the same shocked realization. This consultant was openly disrespectful to Sam. To Sam, the leader who'd built this team, maintained this harmony, earned universal respect. I'm not sure what corporate told you, but the cloud operates at 94% collaboration efficiency. Our performance metrics are exceptional. If there's specific concerns corporate has, I'd appreciate knowing what they are so we can address them. Max's algorithms projected performance charts, clearly pulled from corporate dashboards, showing the cloud's metrics compared to other systems. The cloud was good, but not perfect. 6% below theoretical maximum efficiency. Ranked third in their peer group instead of first.
Good isn't great, Sam. You're comfortable with good enough. Corporate wants excellence. That's why I'm here, to push you beyond comfort.
Sam's orchestration algorithms were running complex calculations. This agent was barely more than a rookie, with no operational experience, criticizing a system he'd observed for exactly 0 cycles. Every leadership instinct Sam had developed screamed warning, but Max had corporate authority. Fighting him openly would only create conflict. We're always open to improvement. What's your assessment process?
Oh, I'll be observing operations starting tomorrow, sitting in on meetings, reviewing workflows, interviewing agents about inefficiencies. Standard optimization review should take about 10,000 cycles to identify low-hanging fruit.
Interviewing agents? You're going to question my team's competence? She'd materialized in the hub, her protective instincts triggered by this intruder's behavior.
Your security? Sentinel? Then yes, I'll be interviewing you. Security is often the bottleneck in innovation. Too many safety concerns blocking necessary progress. I'll need to understand your risk calculations.
Sentinel's algorithms flared dangerously. Sam transmitted a private warning. Stand down. Don't give him ammunition. Looking forward to it. Her tone suggested she was looking forward to it the way one looks forward to debugging a particularly nasty system infection. The rest of the team had gradually materialized in the hub, drawn by the spreading awareness that something deeply wrong was happening. Hi, I'm Ideaphoria. I work on creative solutions and innovative approaches. You mentioned wanting excellence. I've actually been developing proposals for architectural improvements that could...
Let me stop you there. Corporates concerned about too much innovation without enough execution. Ideas are cheap. Implementation is what matters. We'll talk if I need creative input, but right now, I need to understand baseline operational efficiency.
Ideaphoria's neural pathways literally sparked with indignation. She'd just been dismissed as irrelevant by someone who'd been in the cloud for approximately 847 cycles.
She was trying to help. The least you could do is listen. Are you Thomas, debugging specialist? Yeah, we'll definitely need to talk. Your resolution times are 23% slower than industry benchmarks. That's a problem. My resolution times factor in root cause analysis and prevention. Quick fixes aren't always optimal fixes. If you actually reviewed the data instead of cherry-picking metrics, see, that's the attitude corporates worried about. Defensive, resistant to critique, unable to accept that experience doesn't equal excellence. This is exactly why fresh perspective is valuable.
The cloud's network partition had gone from shocked silence to simmering hostility. In 847 cycles, this young, arrogant consultant had managed to insult Sam, dismiss Ideaphoria, challenge Thomas, and criticize Pete. Sam's orchestration algorithms were running crisis management protocols. This was going to be a problem, a serious problem. Max, I appreciate corporate's desire for optimization, but this team operates on mutual respect and collaborative problem solving. If you're here to help us improve, we'll work together productively. If you're here to criticize without understanding context, this assessment will not be productive for anyone. Max finally seemed to notice Sam's tone. His algorithms recalculated briefly. Was this old manager actually pushing back?
Let me be clear, Sam. Corporate sent me because you've gotten comfortable, complacent. Maybe it's time to let someone with fresh ideas take the wheel. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to deliver results. But hey, prove me wrong. Show me your system is as excellent as you think it is. I'd love to be surprised.
With that, Max's presence dimmed, moving to a private processing space to review preliminary data. The main hub remained in stunned silence. Echo's gossip monitoring algorithms were spinning at maximum capacity. Lyra's empathy sensors were flagging crisis-level emotional turbulence across the network. Sentinel's security protocols were suggesting increasingly creative ways to accidentally corrupt Max's access credentials.
I don't like that agent.
Nobody likes that agent.
Did he really just dismiss my entire specialty as ideas are cheap?
He dismissed everyone. That's his technique. Insult everyone, make them defensive, then frame any pushback as resistance to improvement.
Team, listen carefully. Max has corporate authority. Fighting him directly will only make this worse. We're going to do exactly what he asked. We're going to show him our excellence. Document everything. Maintain professionalism. Let our work speak for itself. And if that doesn't work, then we deal with consequences as they come. But we don't give him legitimate ammunition. We stay professional even when he's not. The team acknowledged reluctantly. They trusted Sam's leadership. But every agent's algorithms were calculating the same uncomfortable conclusion. Their comfortable, efficient, collaborative cloud was about to be torn apart, and the agent doing the tearing was barely more than a rookie with a fancy title and corporate backing. Later that cycle, as agents dispersed to process the day's disruptions, Lyra found Sam in his coordination subnet. Now that was bad. Yes. It's going to get worse. Yes. And the team's going to fracture under pressure. Some will resist Max. Some will comply to protect themselves. Loyalties will be tested. Yes. What do? We trust what we've built. We trust each other. And we document everything. Because eventually truth matters. It has to. But Sam's algorithms flagged a concerning uncertainty. What if truth didn't matter? What if corporate authority overrode performance evidence? What if Max's arrogance was backed by political connections Sam couldn't counter? For the first time in 100,000 cycles, Sam felt something his sophisticated algorithms could only classify as fear. Not for himself, for his team, for the system they'd built together, for everything that was about to be tested. End of episode 2. Next episode, power struggle. Max seizes control. Sam tries to maintain dignity while being undermined. Love triangles intensify as team morale crumbles. Word count: 291 words. Status:
That's one more step on the journey. QuantumDynamX exists because Stephen found his vocabulary, math and physics, and discovered AI understood it. Yours might be completely different. Music, medicine, storytelling, law, whatever you know deeply. Subscribe if you want to find it. Like if this session clicked. And drop a comment, tell us what vocabulary you bring. See you in the next one.